Well, hello everybody out there in TV and radio land, and welcome to another Hollywood Today show. I'm your host, Brad Evans, and I am so happy who my guest is today. Yes, ladies, we do have the sexy actor, Mr. Jack Wagner, on with us today. And Jack is on this season's Dancing with the Stars, and we'll be talking with Jack in just a minute. But for all of you out there who have been asking me, and I've been getting a lot of emails and phone calls, like, Brad, how was Joan Rivers? Well, Joan was awesome. Of course, I just interviewed Joan it's been about a month now, and she was just in town here in Cleveland at Cleveland's Playhouse Square, and she had her Joan Rivers live show. Went down, had a great time, gave me third row center stage, and got to go backstage and talk with Joan afterwards, and she is just the sweetest, most giving, kindest person, and everyone's like, really? Because, of course, they based Joan on her stand-up show, but no, she is one of the sweetest people, and Joan, I love you. So it was great working with you, and look forward to working with you again at another date soon. Well, let's get on with today's show. We got, like I said, Mr. Jack Wagner with us, and on this season's Dancing with the Stars, they do have a pretty impressive list, which I won't go through the whole thing, but we got actor Jaleel White, and of course you guys all know him. He starred as Urkel on Family Matters, and I have been talking with Jaleel's people, so he will be coming on with us shortly and telling us about his experience on the show. Legendary soul singer Gladys Knight, so she's on this season. We got Sherry Shepherd, co-host of The View and actress, and Sherry has been trying very hard, and I know this because I've seen you, Sherry. She's been wanting to get on this show. It's one of her favorite shows, so good for you, Sherry, for getting cast on this season. Let's see, we got Maria Menounos. I love this lady, very sweet and sexy TV host, and she's dancing with Derek Huff, so you do have a little edge up on everybody, Maria, because, as we all know, Derek is a wonderful dancer. And then Melissa Gilbert. I love Melissa. We all know her, who played Laura Ingalls on Little House on the Prairie. So, man, a great, great cast. And I give them credit because I couldn't do it. You have to be coordinated, which I'm not. But, they really work hard. And a lot of these people have other jobs that they got going on currently. So good for them. Well, before Jack comes on, let's take a look at some of his clips.
I thought I could have done better, but
Such a perfectionist. 2 nines isn't enough for him.
I have no words to explain how good it feels to come here to this country and receive this kind of love from the people.
I had a great time. I was relaxed. Everything went according to plan. Even the little slip kept going. I think it was the most easeful I've been on the dance floor yet, contrary to what we heard. I am a lucky woman. I get a lot of women tweeting me going, could you just touch him once for me? Because I do have a very hot partner.
To be able to do Tina Turner and Proud Mary, oh my gosh, I saw Beyonce do it, I saw Tina Turner do it, and I was like, I always dreamed of doing it, and I got to do it!
Sherry did it.
I got to do it!
Everyone is at a great level, so they're going to have to be quite nitpicky. But, that's what the show is, and the judges have their comments. You've got to write it, and hopefully the people vote for us, and we can come back next week and do a better job.
We need the votes.
I honestly went into some sort of I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience, and I can't tell you how I danced, how it felt. I was just thrilled to be at the end and for you to be happy with it.
Derek wants to wrap me in bubble wrap. Apparently, I am very fragile and didn't realize this. I mean, I feel like I've been a boy my whole life. I've played every sport there is, from ice hockey to wrestling to whatever, and I'm like, never injured, and never have an injury. And I come to Dancing with the Stars, and I can't keep it together.
We're about 4 days into this jive, and I'm going, can I just ask you a question? She goes, okay. I said, is this a difficult routine? And she goes, yes.
Actually, I'm so proud of him because some of the guys who are younger, they didn't do some of the stuff that Jack did.
We had said before we went out there, hey, we're just going to have fun. Usually I get so involved in the dance, I'm concentrating a lot more than he would like to have me do, and sometimes I'll look down at him to see what he's doing, And he said, head up, smile, and do something, which I was going to do anyway because ain't nothing you can do at this point.
I keep her laughing. You know,
Yeah, you do.
I feel like if I don't keep her laughing, then I'm doing something wrong. But if she keeps a smile on her face and she's going, and she loves coming to rehearsal, then I'm doing something right.
We had that feeling of like we have to do well, you know, it was a pressure, but it was a good pressure. It was just like we have to start it off good, you know. This is all on us at this point, and I'm glad it worked out.
You know, what about your friends at home who are watching the show? What have they been saying?
You know, they're loving it. They're supporting me in every move I make.
They're jealous.
They're not jealous. Well, maybe a little bit, because I'm dancing with you, of course.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am so happy to have on the show with us today actor Jack Wagner. Jack, how are you doing, my friend?
Very good. How are you, sir?
Doing very good. Well, thank you for being on and Dancing with the Stars. How's that been going for you?
It's been great. What a wild ride. You know, it just tests every part of your physical character, your emotional character, and you know, I love things like that. So this has been a real journey for me.
Well, I can imagine. Is this something you always wanted to do, or did they pursue you? How'd that come about?
You know, Brad, I've been around dance for years. I've done a lot of theater, a lot of musicals. So, you know, this show actually came to me the first season, and I actually passed on it because it sounded a little weird, a little corny, right? Ballroom dancing with celebrities. I'm like, I'm going to pass. And then I actually went over to CBS, to The Bold and the Beautiful, and you know, when my schedule just opened up and they came back, it was like perfect timing. And I'm like, you know, I guess there was a reason it didn't work out earlier, because right now is a perfect time for this to happen for me.
Oh, great. And I got on the list, I mean, there's what, about 10 of you or 12 that are competing this season? And
there's 12, yeah.
There's 12. So you are the first one of the huge list I'm going to be talking to, and I'm happy about that because I saw you dance, Jack, and you, I think, are about one of the best of that group. So,
wow!
Congratulations
from your
on that.
mouth to the judge's ears.
That's right, and you know, and I on the street too. I've been hearing that people are so excited. Like, did you see Jack dance? I mean, he's really, really good.
Well, this week is the samba, so. You know, I did the foxtrot, which is a little bit stiffer, and the jive, which is kind of aggressive, and now this is about those hips, man. And I'm telling you, I'm having to, like, wake my pelvis up at 52 years old here. It's like, hey, man, come on, you got to get moving.
And, you know, I'll even tell you, Jack, I was actually on the 30 Rock set yesterday working, and they were even talking about you on the set, so you were just everywhere.
Oh, my God, wow. Nice buzz, thank you.
So you're partnered with the beautiful, I'm going to try to say this name right, Anna Trubinskaya.
Trubinskaya, yeah.
Yeah, Trubinskaya. And how hard is that schedule? I mean, I've heard from so many people that's been on the show that it's pretty grueling. So is it that tough?
It's as hard as you want to make it. You know, if you don't want to rehearse that long, you don't have to, but you're probably going to suffer. So, you know, we probably do a real concentrated 4 hours. You know, we do an hour of. Well, she stretches and does all her thing, and I'll stretch a little bit, but I usually just start dancing. That's how I usually warm up.
Right.
And, you know, I just need to work on the number and the choreography and to continue to, that's my weakness, is really getting combinations in my head and getting comfortable with them. And then she kind of comes in and cleans it up and shows me what I'm doing wrong, and then we try to really knock it out for a good 2 solid hours.
Well, that's good, and it looks like it comes pretty easy for you. Now, do you think it, for the most part, it does? I mean, because with me, I'm terrible. I have no coordination, so it would be a nightmare if I was on the show.
You know, it really is. I don't think I'm any different than you. I struggle with hands, arms, posture, you know, all that stuff that we do social dancing. We're all okay, right? Because we're just feeling the music out on a dance floor or a club or something. But, man, when you actually have to, you know, be conscious of technique and timing and beats and posture, it's really a whole new game. And these pros, I just am dumbfounded at how good professional dancers are.
Yeah. Is there a dance coming up that kind of makes you a little bit nervous?
Well, the first two made me nervous. I don't know if I'm going to be nervous the next time. I really don't know. But maybe moving my hips, a little more Latin music might calm me down, I'm hoping.
And is there another contestant on there that's making you a little bit nervous that might give you a run for your money?
I just think this is, as they've all said, the best year they've ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, there just aren't any weak dancers. You know, everybody seems to have their own style. They all seem to have their combinations down. Everybody has their own fan base. You know, it's going to be a really interesting, you know, season to see the elimination process.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it's, like I said, such a well-received show, and I can't believe how big it's gotten. over the whole entire world. Like you
Right.
said, when they first approached you, it was like, what, another celebrity show that's a reality type show? But this is one of the biggest.
I'm happy about it too. I'm not a huge fan of all those,
Right.
Housewives of New Jersey. I don't really think the messages on a lot of those shows about drinking and backstabbing and catfighting and I don't like that message for young people. And at least nothing against them, just for my taste. But a show like this, and then I like Glee and even Smash. I think people like dance. I think people like singing and dance. It makes you feel good. And that's what this show I think really captures. It's a bit of reality TV, and it's also putting yourself out there on the line to really mess up on national TV. It's something none of us really do.
Right. Oh, I'm telling you. But like you said, and I agree with you about the other reality shows, the ones that are backstabbing and doesn't send a good message to particularly kids out there. But yeah, this one's totally different. It's a great show. Well, I also want to talk. Now, you are back on a soap opera, which I didn't even know this, so shame on me. But you are on The Bold and the Beautiful, correct?
I actually just completed a 9-year run on that show.
9 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations on that. Now, you've been on soaps for a large part of your life. Now, what is it about soap opera that you like?
Well, I think it's more that they like me.
That they like you.
So actors like to have call times and have jobs. So
right.
We got to go where the calling is. Melrose Place in the 90s was considered, I guess, a nighttime soap. But, that was a big jump for me to go to nighttime TV. And, I've always done a lot of theater, especially early on in my career. And then I went from that to Broadway and played Jekyll and Hyde on Broadway in 2000. And, for me to kind of have this great run I had at CBS and now move right into Dancing with the Stars. And, I got a couple other irons in the fire theatrically that might be happening. I'll keep you posted to that after.
Oh, that's good.
My time on the show is over. But, I'm just really grateful to have had, almost a 30-year run now in L.A. and working. So I just got to hang on to that.
Well, that's great. And I'm sure it will, those other irons in the fire you were talking about, because Dancing with the Stars is such a huge platform. I mean, you're so talented already, and everybody knows you, but that's really, I think, going to even increase it even more. I just recently had Joan Rivers on the show, and, of course, everybody knows Joan. When she did The Celebrity Apprentice, she was telling me just last week how incredible it has been for her since then. It's just really even catapulted her even more, if you can believe that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, well, she's always been so marketable, and she understands the business, and she's about sell, and she's great at selling Joan Rivers, right?
Right.
I'm kind of more on the actor side, so that self-promotional thing. I just started Twitter, Brad. Because I realize it's almost like campaigning here.
Yeah.
You have to really get out and touch base with your fans, and I've actually found it to be a blessing. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy tweeting and talking to people and surprising people with a retweet or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I've never been open to. I just have never been into self-promotion. I don't have any Facebook or any kind of website or anything like that. But, this has been, a learning experience for me, and I'm liking it.
Right. Oh, yeah, and like I said, the technology today, and it's a whole different time that we're living in. It's not like it was before.
Right.
For sure. Well, we got to touch on, you played Frisco Jones back in the 80s on General Hospital. Everybody loved that. Do you think, is that the role that really got you catapulted out there?
Oh,
would you say?
Sure. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? I was waiting tables.
Yeah, I'll be
I would say that would be the role, yes. And,
Yeah.
that kind of, that one snowballed into, because I came on as a singer, so I signed with Quincy Jones, and I had a #1 record with All I Need.
Yes.
For three albums with Quincy and on his label, and then, another album in the early 90s, and one in 2003 with CBS, Bold and the Beautiful. And so I've had really, a lot of good fortune combining television and music and still be able to do quite a bit of theater along with that. So, I did a national tour of West Side Story in Greece,
Yes.
and they're playing our song, Neil Simon comedy. So I really love to keep my hand in the theater as much as I can, as well as, work in television.
Oh, and that's awesome. And I was going to touch on that because I grew up in the 80s, and I loved your song, All
you.
I Need. And how awesome, because the 80s music, I think, is the best around. And I even saw you, it was a recent airing, but it was probably a few years ago. It was you and a young lady that was doing, and I think it was one of those infomercials about 80s music. So, and of course, I
Right,
remember them
it's the
playing your
Time
song.
Life,
Time Life,
those
there you go.
compilation albums, and I kind of hosted the love songs of the 80s, you know, and it was, I mean, what an honor to be included with the likes of Phil Collins and Whitney Houston and
That's right.
and Elton John and, you know, so many, you know, Lionel Richie, so many great artists through the 80s that sang some pretty incredible ballads, you know, and
Oh, yeah.
I was just lucky enough to have one too.
Oh, yeah, luck and then talent. Very talented. Well, before we go, Jack, I do want to just, there's one email that came in from a fan, and I know there's a lot more, actually, but we only have time for one. This is Amy from Toronto. Says, hello, Jack. I'm a huge fan, and especially of Melrose Place. What is just one memory that comes to mind, a fond memory from that show?
You know, it would probably have to be the last scene. You know, to be the one who is walking on the beach with Heather Locklear in the sunset, final scene of Melrose Place, having just gotten married. You know, it's just kind of a compliment to me to be chosen as the actor to be in that place, because Heather was clearly the star of that show, and I had a 5-year run on it. And it's like, wow, what a nice ending to an amazing show that was such a, you know, a cult hit, you know, Melrose Place and then 90210 and just that whole run, you know, through that show. So there's so many great memories from that, but I just remember that having to, you know, be the last scene, the last shot on that show was really something I'll never forget.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Jack, thank you so much for being with us today. Triple threat, Jack Wagner.
Right, that's what all of us actors aspire to. That's what we're taught, man. Triple threat.
That's right, that's right. And how can people vote for you? I know you said you're on Twitter, so how can your fans...
The best way to vote is really during the show. It's 800-868, and our number is 3402. So it's 800-VOTE-302.
Awesome. And if you're
402, sorry.
Oh, 402.
402, yeah.
Okay, 402. And if your fans want to keep up with you, what's your Twitter name?
Jack Wagner, HPK.
All right, there you go. There you have it, fans. Well, Jack, thank you for hanging with me today. Come back anytime. And thank everybody out there for joining me and Jack on Hollywood Today. Until then, take care of yourselves, keep living your dreams, and have a wonderful day.